Good morning, everyone. That's some tough acts to follow. You guys are doing some amazing work. Again, my name is Justin Ersser. I represent Grand Council Treaty 3. Right there. So we are located in northwestern Ontario, basically between Thunder Bay and Winnipeg is kind of our area. We cover 28 communities and 55,000 square kilometers. Majority of our communities are in the smack center of the boreal forests. So we have a lot of planning and mitigation work we are trying to do. As we know, wildfires are growing larger, faster, and more destructive across Canada. Treaty 3 communities, most of them are located in or near boreal forest along the front line, often with single road access in and out. This project is bringing together two key pillars. One is strengthening governance through knowledge and co-production. And second is mapping a wildfire risk at a territorial, community, and structural scale. Together, they help move the reactive response to proactive resilience. So why does this matter? Climate change is projected to increase the burned area in Ontario by 8-fold by 2100. 80% of our Indigenous communities in Treaty 3 are close to forests, making them more exposed. Lightning already causes half the large fires, but accounts for 90% of the burned area in Treaty 3. Risk isn't uniform. It depends on local fuels and pathways. We need to know where the hazards are the greatest and what can we do to reduce that hazard. So current gaps in our approach. So traditional wildfire management, at least in Ontario, has been focused on aggressive suppression, leaving dense fuels building up in areas around the communities. Governance is fragmented across federal, provincial, and Indigenous authorities, often with lack of communication between all three. Indigenous fire stewardship has often been sidelined or forgotten about. Cultural burning knowledge has been slowly decreasing year after year as elders pass away. Closing these gaps requires integrating science with Indigenous knowledge and improving collaboration between all parties involved. So pillar one of our project is governance and knowledge co-production. So we create ethical spaces where Indigenous and Western knowledge systems meet as equals. This process builds trust, shared leadership, engaging elders, knowledge keepers, community leaders alongside technical experts to ensure strategies are culturally grounded and effective. Stronger governance means communities can lead and sustain resilience efforts against wildfires. Pillar 2. Risk assessment model. So we're actually looking at using Jen Beverly's model that she has designed. Our second pillar is focused on where risk is at highest. We validated most of Treaty 3 territory has high exposure to hazard fuels. Historic wildfires have often followed those pathways. As actually happened this year recently in West-BC-Mong. Jen Beverly's students did a risk assessment model using what you see here around the community. We actually had an evacuation of West-BC-Mong early in the spring. And coincidentally, their mapping was done, I think, a year or two prior to this. And we overlaid it after the season was done and actually followed almost to a T where the fire was predicted to go or where the access to the community was. So using satellite data, we map exposure zones within 500 meter, 5 kilometer, and 15 kilometer radius directly around the community. Identifying directional vulnerabilities and overlay with wind patterns during extreme fire weather. We can zoom in and see which structures are most at risk, guiding fire smart and evacuation planning. So impact, what's next? Pairing governance reform and risk mapping tools makes knowledge actionable. This results in guide priority fuel treatment, fire smart programs, and evacuation route planning. Pilot communities will gain immediate benefits while approach can scale across all 28 communities in Treaty 3. It provides a community-driven model that can inform national wildfire resilience policy and how do we integrate Indigenous knowledge into Western knowledge. Resilient communities grow where knowledge systems meet. So by weaving Indigenous land-based knowledge with scientific risk assessment, we move from reacting to disasters to proactively reducing the risk. The next step is to carry the lessons from the pilot communities across all Treaty 3 communities to ensure wildfire strategies are evidence-based and culturally grounded. Thank you.